Before the world knew her name, she was invisible. No fame, no success, no security. Just a single mother trying to survive. This is the story of J.K. Rowling, and it's not the one you think you know. It's not about magic. It is about what happens when you hit rock bottom and decide to build something from the ruins. In the early 1990s, Joanne Rowling was living in Edinburgh, Scotland. She was a single mother, recently divorced, and surviving on government welfare. Imagine moving to a new city with a newborn child, almost no money, and a failed marriage behind you. Every single day was a battle for survival, not a pursuit of dreams. She later described this period as the lowest point of her life, a time when she was as poor as it is possible to be in modern Britain without being homeless. The weight of it all was crushing. She struggled with depression so severe that she admitted she once felt life was simply not worth living. She wasn't chasing success. She was just trying to stay alive. The future looked bleak, a long dark tunnel with no light in sight. But it's often in our darkest moments that an unexpected spark appears. And for Rowling, that spark had been ignited years earlier. Picture this. She's sitting on a delayed train from Manchester to London. Suddenly, an idea floods her mind. Not just an idea, but a fully formed character. A boy with glasses and a lightning bolt scar. A boy who didn't know he was special. A boy who felt unwanted, who lived under the stairs, but was destined for a world he couldn't yet imagine. That boy, of course, would become Harry Potter. Even though her life was in chaos, that idea never left her. Back in Edinburgh, amidst the daily struggle to feed herself and her daughter, she wrote. She wrote whenever and wherever she could. In cafes, on park benches, during those precious, quiet moments when her baby daughter was asleep in her stroller right beside her. She famously couldn't afford to heat her small apartment, so the local cafes became her office, her sanctuary. With the price of a single cup of coffee, she bought herself a few hours of warmth and a place to escape into her imagination. For her, writing wasn't just a hobby or a passion project. It was a lifeline. It was the one thing that gave her hope when everything else felt hopeless. It was her own form of survival. After years of relentless effort, she finally finished the manuscript for Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. She typed it out, on an old manual typewriter, a symbol of her determination. She believed this was it, the turning point. Things had to change now. But they didn't. She sent the book out to publishers and waited. And waited. Then, the rejection letters started arriving. One by one they piled up. One publisher, 2, 5, 10. In total, 12 different publishers rejected her manuscript. The reasons varied. Some said the book was far too long for a children's story. Others claimed that children wouldn't be interested in a book about a boarding school for wizards. One publisher even advised her to get a real job and stop wasting her time. Imagine that for a moment. You're a struggling single mother. You have no savings, no support system to fall back on. You've poured your entire soul into this one thing, this story that kept you going through the darkest days. And now, the professional world is telling you it's worthless. How easy it would have been to give up, to believe them, to let that final spark of hope die out. But J.K. Rowling didn't quit. She later said it wasn't because she was overflowing with confidence. It was because she had absolutely nothing left to lose. What was one more rejection when her life was already a series of failures? She had hit rock bottom, and from there, the only way to go was up. Finally, a small, relatively unknown publishing house in London called Bloomsbury decided to take a chance. The editor's 8-year-old daughter had read the first chapter and demanded to know what happened next. Even then, success was far from guaranteed. The advance she received was tiny, just £1,500. Her editor advised her not to quit her day job, warning her that there was little money to be made in children's books. No one, not even her publisher, could have predicted what was about to happen. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone was published in 1997. At first, it was a quiet success. The book found its way into the hands of a few readers, then a few more. Word of mouth began to spread like wildfire. Children were captivated. They started talking about it in schoolyards, begging their parents for the book. Then they started lining up for the sequels. Harry Potter didn't just sell. It exploded. The story transcended borders, languages, and cultures, becoming a global phenomenon. The movies followed, turning the wizarding world into a cinematic empire. J.K. Rowling went from living on welfare, scribbling in cafes to stay warm, to becoming the most successful author in modern history. But her greatest victory wasn't the wealth or the fame. It was the fact that she had survived. Years later, speaking to Harvard graduates, she talked openly about her experience with failure, and she said something incredibly powerful. Failure meant a stripping away of the inessential. I stopped pretending to myself that I was anything other than what I was, and began to direct all my energy into finishing the only work that mattered to me. Had I really succeeded at anything else? I might never have found the determination to succeed in the one arena I believed I truly belonged. Her comeback story isn't about a magical spell or a stroke of luck. It's a story about human endurance. It's about continuing to believe in your own idea when no one else does. It's about finding the strength to write when your life is falling apart around you. It's about getting back on your feet when the world has already counted you out. Today, millions of people see J.K. Rowling as a symbol of unbelievable success. But her real story, the one that truly matters, is a profound reminder of something else. It reminds us that rock bottom is not the end of the story. Sometimes it's the solid foundation upon which you build your entire life. Thank you so much for watching. If this story inspired you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about resilience and the power of the human spirit. We'll see you in the next one.